Hey there, Michelle. How's everything?
Hey, Lindsay, good. How are you?
Awesome. I'm excited to be on the mic as always. Life is good. I can't complain. I can't complain. What about you? What's new in your world?
Well, I guess I'll just start with this because it kind of ties into the episode a little bit about reflecting on your year and everything. So I am expecting another child.
Yay! So
Yeah.
fun. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. So good. Oh,
Yeah.
so many of our listeners are parents, so they're going to be so excited for you, Michelle.
Exactly. So you know that I have a son. He's 3 now, and I'm expecting a little girl. And well, we're recording a little bit ahead of time, guys. So, but in
Yep.
March. But I'm excited to share stories with you.
Yes.
You know, I talk about my son all the time, so now I'll be adapting to 2, and I'm sure I'll be talking about them.
I know you're going to have a lot to say, Michelle. A lot of activity around the house. Let's just say that.
Let's just say. So, guys, if you are listening and you are a parent, or you have any, if you have wisdom about children at all, or you want to talk to me about the transition from 1 to 2 and what that's going to be like, please,
yes.
I have a lot of feelings and a lot of questions. So please be in touch.
Yeah.
Send us a message. I may have. It's possible that I announced this on Instagram. I'm deciding right now, but but this is the first time on the show. If you missed it there, if I did it, then here we are. So that's
Yeah. I think it's cool because a lot of our listeners probably are parents, and we can follow each other's journeys here, and our listeners can be a part of this together with us, with you. So that's fantastic. Congratulations,
Thank you.
Michelle. That is awesome.
Thank
I love
you.
it.
I'm
I love
excited
it.
to share stories and ask
Yeah,
for so
definitely.
perfect. So this kind of leads to our topic today.
Yeah.
You guys may have heard that I keep journals and I write what I did, and I try and have ways to keep memories. And
Yeah.
one of the things that I did in 2021 was I read that somebody said, write one good thing that happened to you every week. And I already kept my other journal, but I thought this was such a nice thing because you're focusing on the positive. Even if you look back at the week and you're like, oh, there was, you're gonna find something. And the idea is that you cut it, you have it in strips of paper, and you put it in a jar. I didn't do that. I just had an email doc where I just listed them all.
Got it. Okay.
Easier. But guys, it could be, I know we're already well into 2022, but this could be a fun thing for you to start. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit today and what I learned from this experience.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah, journals are great. Michelle, so you're a very reflective person, a nostalgic person.
Very nostalgic.
Very nostalgic. How often do you go back and read what you've written in the past? How much is that a part of the ritual?
Good question. So with this one, I mean, of course, since it was all on one page, my eyes could kind of wander, but I really tried to wait. This one, the payoff was kind of waiting until the end of the year, and on New Year's Eve, and I split it between New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, I did read them. It's just really like a sentence, or
That's
a few
cool.
words, just something to remember.
And when you went back, did you kind of get transported to that moment, that memory? That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's like you get a gift. You get to relive your life again.
Yeah. Now the daily one, that's I don't really go back and look at that much. So sometimes Dan is like, you know what, just cool it with that. Because it's more of a burden, honestly, and I don't even read it, and then I've stopped being as consistent. I still do it, but now I'll realize oh, it's been a week since I did it, and then I try. It's I don't know. That one's but I really like this one. So sometimes I did forget to do it, and I would have to go back a couple weeks, but I did well overall. And there are a couple weeks where I said I can't remember. So I just wanted to share this idea with you because you can start at any time. You don't, even though we're into 2022, you can still start it. What are some things that I learned? One thing that I learned is kind of what I already mentioned, is that there are always good things, even when times are tough. So I think for everybody, 2021 was also a pretty tough year.
Yes.
But it is that gratitude that you talk about a lot, Lindsay, having that, yeah, if you were just thinking about it like, ugh, that was a tough week, and then saying no, I
Yes.
have to pick something, and then you start to realize, wait, this was good and this was good, and
Exactly.
right?
Yes. Yeah, I almost feel like honestly, when times are tough, that's when it's actually easiest to, well, just because there's just a few things that are
Yeah.
positive, but it's like, it's almost like life gives us a tough time, and then life gives us like a keen eye
Yeah.
on how to find the good things in a way.
Yeah.
You know what do you know what I mean? It's
Right.
like that option, like in the past when I've gone through like heartbreak, it's been very obvious the good moments, like the tender moments,
Yeah.
like the beauty in life. Like you see the beauty in a tree, changing leaves,
Right.
the snow. You just feel everything more intensely.
Right.
So
right.
that's kind of good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's so true. And like we were saying, is sometimes you realize then you have more than one good thing in
Yes.
those moments. And I mean, and then the other thing is, of course, it's fun to look back on. Sometimes it makes you laugh because you realize, okay, so week 1, we went, like, I think it was New Year's Day. We took my son on a hike. And
fun.
Lindsay, and I'm almost embarrassed to say this to you, but
You don't have to worry.
so we took him on a hike, and we had such a nice time. And it was just wonderful. And we said, we're going to do this more often, and we're going to find a hike. So, like, we said, oh, we're going to do it, you know, it's hard to find the time, but we're going to maybe every 3 months. So I remember I put in my, I put in my calendar, like an alarm for 3 months later that we have to go hiking again.
Okay. Awesome.
Never did it. Not the whole year.
What?
Not the whole year. And like, so it's really funny because each time I opened my document, I could always see week 1, we went hiking! Exclamation
Oh,
point.
no. Well, at least you went that one time, and you know the mountains will be there for you, Michelle. They're not going anywhere, so you can go back to it anytime.
Exactly.
It's okay.
And now with the pregnancy, now I can't.
Oh yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
So-
Maybe wait till after, but you can put the new one, the little one, and
Like a
you
little
know
carrier.
on Dan's back or something, and he can take
Yeah.
care of that, and you know
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. But it just made me laugh. So it's kind of fun or funny to look back on things that you thought you'd do or whatever. And then of course it's a good way to practice mindfulness.
Yes, I love that. And that's kind of what I was getting at earlier with the like noticing the changing leaves and the snow. It's like something about, I don't want to say tragedy, but sometimes tragedy or challenges or adversity in our lives, sometimes that actually gives us that more keen eye for the beauty at the same time. It's kind of like a magical thing. I don't know. It's something about nature gives us that balance, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this is good stuff. Yeah, and by the way, I just want to insert a quick note for our listeners, guys. Check out the IELTS Energy podcast if you are looking to immigrate and need to take the IELTS this year. That's the other podcast that we have from All Ears English, and we show you how to get that band 7 or higher.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
So,
all right.
What would I change for next time? One thing that I would change, and probably it's just ridiculous because again, it's just adding too many things. But it would be cool to add a picture for every week. I'd have to figure out, you know, how I want to put that in. Then it can't be in an email as to, you know, but it would be nice. Maybe I could do it through Google Photos. I don't know, to have a picture for every week. I think that would make it meaningful. So that would be fun.
That would be really cool. Yeah, that would be really cool. Would that be a picture of like the event or just something to reflect on? Just like something in general?
I think it would be something from that week.
Okay, from that week.
Even if it wasn't necessarily the good thing, because, you know, sometimes not everything you write is like, it's not always like, oh, we went hiking. Sometimes it's something that a picture can't be taken of, but just something. Or a few, just like when it's appropriate, but some sort of visual would be cool. And then, you know, I thought maybe I could print it out. And then I thought, you know, maybe people from my family could do it as well. So, that could be a fun thing. Lindsay, do you think this is something you'd ever do?
Yeah, I mean, I have a gratitude journal, and I don't necessarily do it every single night, but I do it at least a few times a week. When I think of it, it's there. And the key right there is not saying, oh, I'm horrible, I didn't do it, right? That's the piece of gratitude, right? That's part of the practice itself. It's kind of refreshing. It's unlike work where if I don't do something, I feel awful.
Yeah.
in this practice, if I realize I've forgotten 3 nights in a row, I say, oh, okay, it's time to pick it up again. I start with beginner's mind, right? I come back to it. It's kind of a really nice gift to myself of compassion.
Interesting. Actually, sometimes every once in a while, I think of you with my journal because I do remember once you said, oh, if you forget, do you go back and do it, or do you just like let it go? And sometimes I have been like, ever since you said that, because I usually do try and go back, and now I'm like, okay, well, do I really need to do that? That's like a little crazy.
Yeah, well, but I understand where you're coming from, because I have those, like, I guess it's kind of like a compulsive tendency towards tasks, right? I think we probably both have that. That's why we get so much done. We just like, if it's on the list, I gotta get it done. And I think that's partly American culture, partly our personalities, education, the way education is structured in this country. Gotta get it done. But I let my gratitude journal have a whole other category. It's a spiritual category that doesn't fall into the task-based category. So it's freedom.
Interesting. Yeah. The whole gotta get it done thing. Oh my gosh.
Gotta get it done.
It's so funny because, you know, I'll always think, oh, I have to do this. I have to do this. And like, sometimes then I'll let it stress me out. But then I realize, but it's just going to keep coming. Like, you don't ever, like, really never have anything to do. Even not just with work, but with life. It's like, so if you just realize, okay, well, it's just going to keep on coming, and, you know, that's life, then I think that makes things easier.
Yeah, so we have to find a way to sit in that task list and be totally okay with, even if it's piling up and new things. And we have to find another place in our mindset to, you get things done, but you're not going to be like attacking yourself, right? If you don't get those things done exactly in the order or the way.
Yeah. So guys, I was thinking about how could doing something like this, other than that, just that it's a nice thing to do, how could this help with actually practicing your English? So these are some concrete things that could help you with. Number one is the past tense. I mean, I'm every single time is using the past tense, every single, because I'm talking about the week in the past. So if past tense is something that sometimes maybe you forget to do,
I love it.
Try it, because this will, it's just 1 or 2 lines, if that, but it still just like puts it in your head.
Yeah, there's something about writing in a new language, right, that will really solidify it, especially if you're doing this just before bed. I think whatever we do right before bed, we remember, we internalize. If we listen to a podcast or something, it becomes a lot more natural, right?
Right. Exactly. And then the other thing is it's learning the vocab and practicing the vocab. So I'm imagining that, you know, if you want to do this for practicing English, that you would do it in English. Of course, you can do it in your first language as well, whatever language you choose. But if you want to use it in this way, it does let you learn the vocabulary and practice the vocabulary that you deal with your everyday life. So to be able to, maybe there's a word that you didn't know, and then you learn the word for whatever it is. It's just another good way to learn, because you have to produce it to keep up with your journal. Right.
Yeah, like you force yourself to find that word because you want to say what you want to say. You're not going to make up a story, right? It's totally different. Yeah, there's something about when you're learning English, it's easy to stay in your comfort zone. And I did this in Spanish. You know, I hit a plateau in my Spanish because I stayed in a real comfort zone. I felt strong saying the same phrases over and over in the same way. But if I didn't force myself to talk about politics or talk about something harder, I would be in that comfort zone forever.
Yeah.
Right. So,
that's a good point. So, I mean, and then, like I said, just keeping track of your English progress. I mean, maybe you even have like a specific, not to now assign you to have 10 journals, but maybe there is maybe you do want to, instead of the good things from the year, maybe instead you want to keep track every week of one new thing you learned in English. You know, be creative with it. So maybe it's something specific.
Yeah, I mean, journals are defined in our own way, right? People have different things. I heard about this guy in the news who took a photo of himself every day for like a year or 10 years or something, and then he lined them all up. And that's a kind of a journal in a way, right? It's observing your physical aging, you know?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So
I've thought about doing things like that. Well, maybe not just of myself, but like I've thought, you know what? I remember like on my first anniversary, I wanted to take, you know, every anniversary a picture and then I saw my cousin
Yeah.
do it in a really cool way. Anyway, I didn't do it.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, I like that stuff. And then I see a lot of times people post like their year in 60 seconds or something, and it's like they took a picture every day, and all of those things.
Cool.
All of those things I'm into. I don't know. I am very nostalgic.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's also something kind of cool about just daily life.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just about the big moments,
Right.
the trips, and it's like, if you love your life, you love the people in your life, you should want to remember the little things, the little moments, like eating breakfast with your kid
So
or taking
true.
your dog for a walk, right? Things like that are kind of beautiful in a way, I think, guys. So like, be in the moment, you know?
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, so guys, try this out. It's okay that the year has already started, but if you want to get started with this, let me know. Let me know how it works for you. If you want to, or let us know also if you do a journal and how you do it. Any special way, specific way that you keep track of things and memories.
I love it. Such a good idea. And guys, don't forget to go to the IELTS Energy podcast if you are taking IELTS this year. All right, Michelle, enjoy the journaling and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, Lindsay, have a good one.
All right. Bye.